Do you have an estate plan for your TSP? If not, the government has one for you. Keep watching to learn more. Welcome to the Mason & Associates YouTube channel. I'm John Mason, certified financial planner and president at Mason & Associates. Folks, at Mason & Associates, things are what they seem. Remember, what we're doing here is we're here to support, educate, empower, and motivate you to make changes in your financial plan. That's what we do for clients every single day at Mason & Associates. We're financial planners first, and we do this content creation second, but we're here on YouTube to give you that same thing. Mason & Associates, we are what we seem. Support, educate, empower, and motivate you to make changes in your financial plan. So today's episode, do you have an estate plan for your thrift savings plan? Let me say that again, an estate plan for your thrift savings plan. What am I talking about here? Well, folks, this video, I don't know how long it's gonna be, but we have to talk about a lot of things here, okay? So what is an estate plan? An estate plan, most people think Brewster's Millions. Most people think I need a trust. Most people think about all of these things, but in its simplest form, an estate plan has a few things included in it. We need a will. We probably need to consider some version of a revocable living trust. We have a financial power of attorney, and we have a medical directive, or whatever your state calls it. In Virginia, we have an advanced medical directive. So a properly designated estate plan would have all of those documents for both you and your spouse. What a will or trust does is at your death, if assets find its way to its will, so assets like your thrift savings plan end up in your will, then your will says where those monies go at your passing. The problem is we don't really know or have a good understanding of what's finding its way to your trust or to your will. Let me explain. There's a few different kinds of assets that we need to plan for here. So you have things like your house. Then you have your bank accounts, then you have your life insurance policies, and then you have like your retirement accounts, your IRAs, your TSP. Well, it's very common to have your house pass by your will. It's very common for your bank accounts to pass by your will. Well, the life insurance and IRAs is a little bit different. And this is not a video designed to talk about the proper way to do estate planning. We can't possibly do that on this video. But those assets that I covered first typically could pass via beneficiary or via trust or will. Life insurance and IRAs and TSPs pass by beneficiary designation. What does that mean? Folks, what's important for you to know is that the order of distributions at death go like this. If me and you are married and we have an account where we're joint with right of survivorship, it doesn't matter what my beneficiary is. It doesn't matter what my will or trust says. At my death, you, as the owner, joint tenants with right of survivorship, you inherit the account. Nothing else matters because you are the surviving owner. Second, if I don't have a surviving owner of my account, do I have a beneficiary? If so, that's where the money goes. If I don't have a joint owner and I don't have a beneficiary, then it's going to go to my will or trust, okay? And then that instrument would dictate where it goes. So maybe you're thinking, perfect, this is how it's all gonna work. Well, folks, TSP has statutory beneficiary designations that are already baked in for you. What does that mean? It means if you've never submitted a TSP-3, at your death, your spouse inherits 100% of your TSP. It doesn't matter if you disinherited your spouse or don't like your spouse or wrote them out of your trust. That money's not getting to that trust or will because the statutory beneficiary is primary as spouse first. If you don't have a spouse to inherit, then your children are going to inherit. Well, same thing. What if you like one child and you don't like the other? Or what if for some reason we don't want a surviving child to inherit that money immediately and outright? Maybe they have a drug and alcohol problem. Maybe we want to manage that money for them until they're a little more financially responsible. Or maybe there's a special needs trust involved. You can see there's so many planning considerations here, and the government has arbitrarily made these decisions for you that you have statutory beneficiaries if you do nothing. So it's very important that you have an estate plan. That's a whole separate video. But if you don't have an estate plan, you have a problem. You need to see a qualified attorney to get those documents in place. And once we have those, we need to figure out how we coordinate your TSP and your other investments with this beautiful estate plan. Do we list your trust as beneficiary? Do we list your spouse as beneficiary? Do we list a special needs trust? What are all of the various options? Folks, the government's got a plan for you now. It's called the Statutory List of Beneficiaries. You can visit that right on the TSP website and see who they've listed for you. If you have other planning considerations or you need to get more specific, then you absolutely need to revisit your TSP3. You need to submit that online. And further, I'll do a separate video that talks about the changes that were made to contingent beneficiaries. Folks, you're not going to like this. You're not going to like the way they've done this. And maybe I'll just do it now. I'll just do it right now. Okay? So the way beneficiaries work in Thrift Savings Plan is if you have any primary beneficiaries that are still alive, the primary beneficiary inherits it. So let me give you an example. It's my TSP. There's $1 million in it. And right now I have 3 children. Okay. And all 3 kids have 1 kid each. So there's 3 kids and 3 grandkids. If I pass away and I leave money to all 3 kids, that's fine. 33% each. Well, what if I want this kid predeceased me and I want my grandchild to inherit that child's share? How do I do that inside of Thrift Savings Plan? Well, the default at TSP is it doesn't matter who your contingent beneficiaries are if you still have people on the top line. If you still have people listed on primary beneficiary, the contingents never inherit the money. Folks, I said it before, I'll say it again. If you don't have an estate plan for your TSP, the government has one for you. It's time to take control by either filling out a TSP beneficiary form, setting up your own individual IRA or Roth IRA where you can be more specific and getting those right estate planning documents in order. I guess the government's trying to do a good thing for you. I guess these statutory beneficiaries, these like default elections that the government has made, maybe they make sense, but do they make sense for you? That's the question of the day. Do they make sense for you? Folks, this has been another episode of the Mason & Associates YouTube channel. Again, I'm John Mason. Did you like this content? Do you have an estate plan? We want to hear from you in the comments below. Like this video, give us that thumbs up, hit the bell notification, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget, Federal Employee Financial Planning Podcast. We release 2 episodes per month, and we're available on all major platforms. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.